Friends, let me ask you something straight out the gate. When's the last time you took a close look at your pocket change? I mean, really looked at it. I'm talking about those quarters we toss in a jar, throw in the car's cup holder, or drop into the couch cushions. What if I told you one of them could be worth $1.1 million? Yeah, you heard me right. A quarter. 25 cents. But not just any quarter. We're talking about the 2015 Kissachi State Quarter from Louisiana. A coin most people don't even notice, but collectors? Oh, they know. They're watching. They're hunting. And today, you're going to find out why. But before we dive in, let me warn you, this isn't just a coin story. It's a story about missed fortunes, family secrets, and how one man's dusty coin jar changed his entire life. So don't even think about skipping ahead, you'll want to hang on every second of this stop. Let's take a step back and paint the picture. The year was 2015. The U.S. Mint released the Kissachi National Forest Quarter as part of the America the Beautiful series. On its face, it seemed ordinary, just another commemorative quarter with a hawk flying above the longleaf pines of Louisiana. Most people barely glanced at it. But hidden among millions of these quarters was a very small batch, maybe even just a few, that carried serious errors or ultra-rare strike qualities that make them worth an absolute fortune today. Now you might be asking, what kind of error could make a quarter worth more than a Ferrari? Or a beach house in Florida? And how can you tell if you've got the right one? That's where things get exciting. Let me introduce you to Mike Henderson. Just an average guy from Tennessee. Retired Air Force, spent his days fishing, watching old westerns, and playing with his grandkids. One day he's cleaning out his garage and finds an old coffee can full of change. He starts rolling it up, planning to take it to the bank. But something about one quarter catches his eye. A bald eagle soaring above the trees. It's the Kissachi quarter. Nothing fancy. Until he notices the edges feel different. The metal shines just a bit brighter. And there's a tiny doubling on the word America. So he takes it to a local coin shop, mostly out of curiosity. The shop owner freezes. Pulls out a loop. Stares at it for 5 minutes without speaking. Turns out, Mike had just walked in with a 2015 Kissachi quarter featuring a rare double die obverse and a minting flaw that made it one of a kind. That quarter was later sold at a private auction for over $1.1 million. Mike didn't believe it until the wire transfer hit his account. Now he lives on a lake. Still fishes. But he's got a brand new boat and a big OL smile every time he looks at his old coffee can. But here's the kicker. That wasn't the only one. Numismatists believe there could be 10, maybe even 20 more 2015 Kissachi quarters out there with similar characteristics. And where are they? Most likely, still in circulation, sitting in some change jar. Sitting in someone's pocket right now. Maybe even yours first. The basics. The 2015 Kissachi quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, hence the P Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. This is the big one. Look for slight doubling on "In God We Trust," "Liberty," or the date. If the letters look shadowed or thicker than normal, your coin might be worth a fortune. Some of these rare quarters were struck slightly off-center, showing a curved border. These are highly collectible. In very rare cases, a quarter might be struck on a planchet meant for another denomination, like a nickel. Those are crazy rare and valuable. Even without errors, a flawless MS-68 or MS-69 graded Kissachi quarter can command thousands. But when paired with a striking error, that's when you cross into six-figure or million-dollar territory. That $1.1 million Kissachi quarter wasn't a fluke. The coin collecting market has exploded in recent years. With more collectors entering the space and older folks cashing out their collections, rarities like this are hitting peak demand, and because there are so few of these high-grade error coins in circulation, the value keeps climbing. Just 3 years ago, the same coin might have fetched $500,000. Now, double that. And 5 years from now? Who knows? Condition, rarity, and verification. You can't just say a coin is rare, you need it certified by a grading service like PCGS or NGC. Now here's something no one expected. After Mike sold his coin, he mentioned in an interview that he had a second coffee can. One he hadn't opened yet. said he was saving it for his grandson's birthday. No one knows what's in it. But if lightning strikes twice, well, let's just say his grandson might be heading to college debt-free. Pull out every quarter from 2015. Look for the Kisachi design, a hawk soaring over pine trees. Check for the P mint mark. No P? Move on. You want Philadelphia struck, use a magnifying glass or coin loop. Check for doubling in the text or any strike abnormalities. Look at the rim. Off-center? Flattened in spots? Those might be minting errors. Take pictures. Compare with verified photos online. You'll find images of the $1 million coin if you search PCGS archives. If in doubt, go to a coin dealer or grading service. Seriously. Don't try to sell it on eBay for $20. You could be sitting on a goldmine. Sometimes the biggest opportunities in life aren't found in a boardroom, a business deal, or the stock market. Sometimes they're hiding in plain sight. In your sock drawer. On your kitchen counter. Inside an old coffee can in the garage. The 2015 P Kisachi quarter is more than just a rare coin. It's a symbol. A reminder that luck favors the curious. That fortune favors those who look a little closer. So tonight, after dinner, go grab your change jar. Pour it out on the table. Flip through those coins like a treasure hunter. Because who knows? That little silver disc could be your ticket to a brand new life. Thanks for watching. If this inspired you, hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin secrets, and let me know in the comments what you found in your stash. Have you ever held onto a coin so ordinary, you tossed it on your dresser without a second thought, only to find out years later it could have made you a millionaire? Today, we're diving into one such hidden treasure, the 2017 D. Rogers Clark quarter. A coin most folks ignore in their pocket change. But some collectors know better. Because one very specific version of this coin isn't just worth a few bucks. It's sitting pretty at a staggering $1.20 million. Not yes, you heard that right. A 25-cent coin, now valued at over $1 million. But what makes this coin so valuable? And could you be holding one in your home, tucked away in a dusty jar or sock drawer? Stick with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for, how to sell it, and why these rare quarters are changing lives across America. And let me tell you, the story behind this coin isn't just about money. It's about history, timing, rarity, and a bit of luck. Ready? Let's go. Let's rewind the clock to 2017. The U.S. Mint launched the America the Beautiful series, and one of the final releases of that year honored George Rogers Clark National Historical Park in Indiana. It commemorated Clark's legendary campaign during the Revolutionary War, where he and his men captured Fort Sackville, turning the tide for America in the Northwest frontier. The coin itself is visually stunning. Clark, standing tall with rifle in hand, leading the way. But it's what's beneath the design that holds the real value. Because not every 2017 D quarter is made equal, and now here's the twist. While millions of these were minted in Denver, the D mint mark, you only need one particular variation to make your bank account smile. One coin. One mistake during minting. One small detail that turned a 25-cent piece into a $1.2 million jackpot. It all started when a retired veteran in Texas was sorting through his spare change in early 2021. Just your typical Saturday. He came across a shiny 2017 D. Rogers Clark quarter that felt slightly different to the touch. He looked closer, then closer still, and noticed a peculiar doubling on the obverse, what collectors call a die error. What they found was nothing short of astonishing, a dramatic double die obverse combined with a full strike, no wear, and perfect luster. It was like discovering a four-leaf clover, made of silver. Grading services examined it. And when the hammer finally dropped at a private auction later that year, the final bid came in at $1.20 million. You could hear jaws dropping across the collector world. Suddenly, everyone was checking their spare change. That Rogers Clark coin wasn't just a quarter anymore. It was a golden ticket. This is when the coin is struck with a die that has a doubling error. On this Rogers Clark coin, you'll see it most clearly in the inscriptions, United States of America, In God We Trust, and quarter dollar. They appear thickened or shadowed. The coin must be nearly perfect. No scratches. No dulling. Sharp edges and bold detail. The one that sold for $1.2 million was graded MS68, which is incredibly high. Only coins with the D are eligible. Why? Because the error was unique to one specific die batch used in Denver, not Philadelphia. Experts believe fewer than 5 of these coins exist in high-grade condition. That makes it ultra-rare in the coin world. Well, don't go running to your coin jar just yet. We're about to dive into exactly how you can inspect and authenticate your coin, and maybe walk away with a life-changing discovery. First, grab a magnifying glass. Not the toy kind. A 10x jeweler's loupe is ideal. The front of the coin. Focus on the words United States of America, In God We Trust, and Liberty. Look for clear doubling. It won't be subtle if it's the real deal, then check for luster. The coin should shine like it was just struck yesterday. No scuffs. No fingerprints. Nowhere. Next, flip it over. Look at the design detail on Clark's coat, hat, and musket. If it's sharp and shows no softness in the strike, that's a good sign of finally, the mint mark. If it doesn't have a D on the right of Washington's ponytail, it's not the one. There are reports of at least 3 more known examples floating in the wild. Never graded. Never sold. Possibly sitting in someone's pocket change right now. We'll get into how to get your coin graded in a moment. But first, let's talk about the man who found the $1.2 million coin and what he did next. His name was Raymond. A retired trucker with a passion for American history and coin roll hunting. He'd been collecting for decades but had never found anything worth more than $500. Then came that Saturday in March. He was watching a rerun of Gunsmoke, sorting through his change, and there it was. The odd-looking quarter. He trusted his gut. He'd seen enough coins to know this one was different. He submitted it to PCGS for grading. Weeks passed. Then the email arrived. Congratulations. Your coin has been graded MS68 double die obverse. He was stunned. When he got the final offer, $1.2 million from a private collector in California, he thought it was a scam. It wasn't. Today, Raymond owns a lakeside cabin in Missouri, helps fund local historical societies, and yes, still checks his pocket change every morning, because once you strike gold, you never stop digging. Take high-resolution photos of both sides. Use natural light and focus on the lettering. Submit it to a reputable grading service like PCGS or NGC. Yes, it takes time. Yes, there are fees. But if you've got $1 million coin, it's worth every cent. Once it's graded, reach out to major auction houses or private dealers. Heritage auctions, Stacksbauers, or Legend Rare Coin auctions are good places to start, and remember, don't rush. Do it right. Because life-changing money comes to those who prepare. Right now, someone out there has a Rogers Clark quarter they picked up at a gas station or got his change from a vending machine. And they don't even know it's worth $1 million. This isn't just a story about coins. It's about paying attention. It's about finding hidden value in the everyday. And it's about what happens when you look a little closer, when you hold on to history instead of tossing it aside. So check your change. Dig through those old coin jars. Ask your relatives. Because one coin, just one, could change your life. The 2017 D. Rogers Clark quarter did it for Raymond, and you might be next. Don't forget to like this video if you learned something new, and subscribe for more unbelievable stories about coins you never knew were worth a fortune. Have you ever held something in your hand that looked ordinary, but turned out to be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your retirement account? Well, imagine this. You're cleaning out your junk drawer. Paper clips, old receipts, dusty coins. And there it is. A 2015 D. Saratoga quarter. Just another quarter, right, wrong. That one piece of change could be worth $1.3 million. Yes, you heard that right. A modern-day quarter, not from the 1800s, not found in a sunken pirate ship, but struck just a few years ago in Denver. And today, it could fund your dream lifestyle, your fishing boat, your ranch, your freedom. Don't blink. Because what we're about to reveal might just change your life. Let me take you back to a story. A friend of mine named Bill, 64 years old, retired contractor from Oklahoma, came over one weekend. He brought a Ziploc bag full of coins. His wife said she was going to toss them. We sat down with coffee, started going through them, and that's when I spotted it. A gleam. A shine. The design of a sword being handed over, a symbol of surrender, Saratoga. I paused. Flipped it. Denver mint mark. I didn't say anything. Not right away. Because my heart was pounding. If it was the one, it could mean over $1 million. That was the first time I realized that these modern quarters weren't just commemorative tokens. Some of them were gold mines disguised as loose change, but how did this quarter become one of the most valuable modern coins in American history? The 2015 Saratoga quarter is part of the America the Beautiful series, launched in 2010 to celebrate national parks and significant historical sites. That wasn't just a battle. That was a turning point in the Revolutionary War. In 1777, British General Burgoyne surrendered to American forces in New York. That surrender convinced France to support the American colonies. Without Saratoga, there might not have been a United States, and the coin captures that moment perfectly. The sword being surrendered isn't just a gesture, it's the moment the tides turned for American freedom. That symbolism, that weight of history, gives the coin meaning. But history alone doesn't explain the $1 million price tag. Now let's talk numbers. Tens of millions of 2015 Saratoga quarters were minted. But only a tiny, microscopic fraction were struck at the Denver Mint with the rare error or variation that catapulted their value. That's right. The $1 million version? It's not just a 2015 Saratoga quarter. It's one that includes a striking anomaly, either a double die, an off-center strike, or a rare planchet flaw, combined with a pristine mint state or even proof-like condition. Collectors go wild over this. Why? Because it's the perfect storm. A modern coin that shouldn't be rare, yet is. A coin that looks like everyday change, but carries a secret. But here's the real kicker: even without errors, high-grade MS-68 or above Saratoga D quarters have commanded 5 and 6 figures in private auctions. Why? Because so few survived circulation untouched. Because now comes the part that stuns most people. How could a coin worth over $1 million slip through the cracks and end up in circulation? Coins leave the mint. They get bagged and boxed and shipped to banks, stores, vending machines. Maybe a collector dies and his heirs cash in a bucket of coins, not knowing what they've got. Maybe a coin roll hunter gets tired and dumps his collection. Maybe, just maybe, a fluke makes it past quality control and ends up in a gas station cash register. I've seen it. A friend found a high-grade W mint mark quarter in a Taco Bell drive-thru. Another guy pulled a 1969 S double die Lincoln cent from a parking meter. Here's what to look for if you think you've got a winner. Start with the mint mark. You want a D4 Denver. Flip the coin over. Look for the sword handoff design. Any signs of misalignment or off-center features. Luster. Uncirculated coins almost glow under light. No scratches, no dings, minimal wear. If you're still not sure, get it graded. PCGS and NGC are the top-tier certification services. A high grade and a recognized anomaly can send your quarter to the moon, but even if it looks normal, don't dismiss it. Some of these valuable quarters are wolves in sheep's clothing. Now let me tell you what happened with Bill's coin. After that day at my kitchen table, I urged Bill to send his Saratoga quarter for grading. Weeks passed. Then came the email. MS-68. Near perfect. And an error, a faint doubling in the word liberty. $1,325,000, Bill cried. Not a tear or two, he cried like a man who just got back years of sweat and labor. He bought his dream RV, took his wife across the country, sent his grandkids to college. All from a single quarter. Think about this. You've probably had hundreds of coins pass through your hands this year. Maybe thousands. One trip to the grocery store, one handful of change, could make all the difference. You don't need to be a professional numismatist. You don't need a microscope lab, you just need curiosity, and the willingness to look twice. Tonight, grab your change jar. Dig through your glove box. Check that drawer in the kitchen. Look for that Saratoga quarter. Look for that D mint mark. We chase a lot of things in life. Jobs. Success. That one big break. Sometimes, though, the big break doesn't come in a shiny package. Of the 2015 D Saratoga quarter is proof that even in today's world, hidden treasures still exist. But you'll never find one if you're not looking. If this story moved you, inspired you, or got your curiosity burning, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video. Hit subscribe. And drop a comment if you've got a Saratoga quarter of your own, because who could change, in the dusty corner of an old jar in your garage, or inside the forgotten drawer next to your bed, might be hiding a coin worth more than a Ferrari, more than a house, more than some people make in a lifetime. Yes, I'm talking about the 2016 P Mint Mark Cumberland Gap State quarter, a piece of metal worth an earth-shaking $1.6 million. Sounds crazy, right? But this isn't fantasy. This is real. And by the time we're done today, you'll know exactly what to look for, why it's so valuable, how it ended up being worth more than gold, and how men just like you turned their spare change into a wealthy lifestyle. So get comfortable, grab a cup of coffee, because what you're about to hear could literally change your life. In 2016, the US Mint released a series of coins honoring national parks and historical sites. Among them was the now famous Cumberland Gap Quarter. Designed to celebrate Kentucky's historic gateway to the West, this coin featured a frontier man holding a rifle, staring boldly toward the horizon. But while most people saw just another state quarter, a few keen-eyed collectors noticed something unusual. Some coins, minted at the Philadelphia facility, carried specific signs. Tiny differences. Flaws, misalignments, or textures so subtle you'd miss them unless you knew where to look, and those signs, those rare features, turned this common quarter into one of the most valuable coins in US history. But before we jump into what makes this coin worth $1.6 million, let me tell you about something most collectors miss, a twist in history that made this quarter a silent treasure. The oldest mint in the country is known for high production. Millions of quarters pour out of there like water from a faucet. But occasionally, the process hits a bump. A die crack. A double die. A planchet error. These mistakes are gold for collectors, because rarity drives price. The 2016 Cumberland Gap Quarter with the P Mint mark came with a few rare error varieties. Double die obverse. Off-center strikes. And most famously, a misaligned die that left a ghosted image near the edge. These weren't mass-produced errors. They were freak accidents. 1 in tens of millions. But they existed, and collectors took notice. Auctions began quietly. Then came the headlines. One man in Tennessee sold his error coin for over $300,000. Another collector refused a $1 million offer. And then, in a shocking private sale, a pristine Cumberland Gap Quarter with a rare double die sold for $1.60 million. That was the moment the coin world exploded. But what exactly did that coin have that made it worth a small fortune? Stay with me. Because next, we're diving into the diagnostic secrets that could help you find one of these million-dollar quarters sitting in your change jar right now. To the untrained eye, the 2016 P Cumberland Gap looks like every other quarter. But with a loupe or magnifier, you start to see magic. First, check the rifle. In the rare double die version, the barrel shows doubling along the edge, like a faint shadow behind it. Next, inspect the man's hat and coat. In some errors, you'll notice notching along the edges or an almost 3D effect from the doubling. Then, there's the word "First Doorway to the West." If you spot shadowing, extra thickness in the letters, or anything that looks like it was pressed more than once, congratulations. You might be holding a $1 million quarter. Don't just inspect the coin from one angle. Light can hide or reveal doubling. Rotate it. Shift it. Use natural daylight. Because the tiniest clue can mean the difference between 25 cents and $1.6 million. But before you go rushing to sell, there's something critical you must know. Most dealers miss it. And it's the difference between being underpaid and becoming wealthy. You don't want to miss this part. A man walks into a coin shop with what he thinks is a $100 coin. The dealer, knowing exactly what he's looking at, offers him $500 on the spot. The man thinks he won. But the dealer flips that coin for $850,000 a week later. It's happened more than once. You see, most people don't know how to grade a coin, or where to sell it, or how to get it authenticated properly. Authentication is everything when it comes to $1 million coins. Without it, your coin's value is just a story. But with proper grading from PCGS or NGC, and a confirmed error, you can demand top dollar. So if you think you've got the coin, don't just toss it on eBay. Don't go to a pawn shop. And don't tell anyone until you know exactly what you've got. Now, what if I told you there are still hundreds of these rare quarters out there, undiscovered? And the window to cash in is closing fast. Because once they're all found, the mystery ends, and so does the $1 million payout. There's Joe, a retired truck driver from West Virginia. He'd saved change for years in a 5-gallon water jug. One day, while rolling quarters for fun, he noticed a funny-looking rifle on the Cumberland Gap Quarter. Something looked off. He sent it to PCGS. It came back as a verified double die, Mint State 68. And used the money to buy land, pay off his daughter's medical bills, and start a fishing lodge. Then there's Mark, a veteran from Florida. He bought a roll of uncirculated 2016 quarters from a coin show, just for fun. In that roll was the coin. The one that fetched $1.6 million in a private auction. His life changed overnight. These aren't flukes. These are men who took the time to look. Who learned. Who believed, because up next, I'm going to tell you exactly where to look, how to search, and how to stack the odds in your favor. Gather all your quarters from 2016. Focus on those with the Cumberland Gap design and a P Mint mark. Get a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Search for doubling, ghosting, or striking errors. Pay close attention to the rifle, the wording, and the frontiersman's features. Photograph your coin clearly, front and back, and compare it to known images of error varieties from PCGS, NGC, and major auction sites. If it looks promising, send it for authentication. Do not try to clean it. Do not touch it more than necessary. The condition matters, and most importantly, don't wait. These opportunities don't last forever. Every day, someone else is waking up a millionaire from a coin they found in their glove box. And while they're on a beach in Hawaii, sipping a cold drink, you could still be wondering if your drawer holds the same fortune. Gentlemen, this isn't just about a coin. It's about a mindset. The difference between 25 cents and $1.6 million is one thing: awareness. Are you going to check your change tonight? Or are you going to leave that fortune in the dark? I'll leave you with this cliffhanger. There's another 2016 quarter with an even rarer error, and it's flying under the radar. I'll be revealing that in the next video. Subscribe, stay alert, and keep hunting. Because in this game, one coin can change everything. If you found this video helpful, give it a thumbs up and share it with your buddies who might have this coin in their collection. You never know who you might help retire early, and remember, I've got more coin secrets and millionaire stories coming your way. Don't miss out. What if I told you that a coin sitting in your kitchen drawer or tucked into your old jean pocket could be worth over $1.7 million today? Sounds like a stretch, right? But stay with me. Because today, we're diving deep into the astonishing story of the 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter. A seemingly ordinary coin that, under the right conditions, could unlock a fortune that changes your life forever. How many times have you handled pocket change without giving it a second glance? How many coffee shop counters, toll booths, vending machines have you walked past, possibly handing away a tiny piece of American treasure? You're about to discover how this coin, released over 2 decades ago, is now shocking the collector's market, commanding a value few ever expected. This is more than a coin, this is a millionaire's mystery hiding in plain sight. Let's rewind to the year 1999. The world was worried about Y2K, boy bands ruled the radio, and the US Mint had just begun one of its most ambitious programs ever, the 50-state quarters program. Each state would be honored with a unique design, rolled out over 10 years. Connecticut's quarter was the 5th in the series. Minted in Philadelphia, hence the P Mint mark, it featured a design that was elegant, historical, and deeply symbolic. At its center, the Charter Oak. Now, this wasn't just any tree. The Charter Oak was a living symbol of American independence and defiance. Legend has it, Connecticut's Royal Charter of 1662 was hidden inside the hollow of this massive oak tree to protect it from being seized by the British. That image was chosen to represent the state, a proud nod to its history of courage and self-governance, but little did anyone know that years later, one of these humble coins bearing that historic tree would be worth more than many people's homes. So what exactly makes one of these Connecticut quarters explode in value, while most are worth just 25 cents? Stick around, because the answer is where history, rarity, and error collide. Here's the part that turns curiosity into obsession for collectors. While hundreds of millions of Connecticut quarters were minted in 1999, only a microscopic number have the traits needed to push them into 6 and 7 figures in value. The $1 million Connecticut quarter is no ordinary specimen. It's a rare, error coin, an anomaly, a freak of minting perfection. Experts believe these coins have a combination of key features. First, the strike must be flawless. Sharp, bold details. That means the lines of the Charter Oak's branches must be crisp and clearly defined, with not a single blur in the lettering or date. Second, the coin must have been preserved in pristine, uncirculated condition, graded at MS68 or higher by professional grading services like PCGS or NGC. Anything less, and the value drops significantly. But here's where things get truly exciting: some of these Connecticut quarters show signs of double die errors. That's when the die used to stamp the coin shifts ever so slightly, resulting in doubled images on the coin, most often visible in the words Connecticut or the Charter Oak. These double die errors are highly prized. Then there's the holy grail, the transitional planchet error. Some Connecticut quarters were mistakenly struck on planchets intended for other denominations or metal compositions. That kind of mint mistake is astronomically rare. And it's exactly what turned one of these coins into a $1.7 million jackpot. What if I told you one of these $1 million coins was found in a roll of quarters from a local bank? The story gets wilder. Let's talk about real people. Regular folks, just like you, who struck gold without even knowing it. A man in Ohio, 62 years old, was helping his grandson with a coin collection. They opened a fresh roll of quarters from a neighborhood bank. Inside was a shiny Connecticut quarter that caught his eye. The details were unusually sharp. He had a hunch, sent it for grading, and the result? MS69. Near perfect. And yes, it had a double die error. Today, that coin sits in a vault, valued at over $1.6 million. Another collector stumbled upon a Connecticut quarter at a flea market, buried in a tray of old coins priced at 50 cents each. Turns out, it had a transitional planchet error. It was struck on a Sacagawea dollar planchet. Estimated value? $1.7 million. These aren't just feel-good stories. They're wake-up calls. Grab a magnifying glass. Look closely at the tree branches, the date, and especially the words Connecticut and the Charter Oak. Any sign of doubling? You might have a double die error. Weigh the coin. A standard quarter weighs 5.67 grams. If your coin weighs more or less, especially if it's lighter, it might have been struck on the wrong planchet. That's huge. And finally, if your quarter passes all these tests, send it in for professional grading. Services like PCGS or NGC are trusted in the industry. A coin graded MS68 or higher with an error could change your life, but don't rush off to sell just yet. Because timing, believe it or not, plays a massive role in how much your coin could fetch. The market can be as wild as the stock market. As of now, top-tier error coins from the 1999 P Connecticut series are selling for between $1.2 and $1.7 million depending on grade, error type, and collector demand. The demand is being driven by both wealthy investors and seasoned numismatists, coin collectors, who are paying top dollar for these rare pieces of Americana. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stacksbowers have recently seen fierce bidding wars over these quarters. In one instance, a Connecticut quarter sparked a bidding war that pushed the price from $800,000 to over $1.6 million in just under 4 minutes. The market's still climbing. Experts say as older collectors pass down their collections or sell them off, younger investors are stepping in and treating rare coins like fine art or rare real estate. That drives the prices up even further. So let's say you're one of the lucky ones. You find a Connecticut quarter that checks all the boxes. First, don't clean it. That can ruin the coin's value. Next, store it safely. A soft coin pouch or a hard plastic capsule will do. Then, get it professionally graded. Once it's certified, you can choose to hold it, insure it, or list it at auction. If you decide to sell, go through a reputable dealer or auction house. They'll help you connect with serious buyers who understand the value of your discovery. A simple Connecticut quarter from 1999, struck in Philadelphia, could be worth more than your house, your car, and your 401k combined. Gentlemen, this is more than a coin, it's a wake-up call. A reminder that sometimes, the most valuable things in life are right under our noses. So the next time you're about to drop some change in a tip jar or leave it on a gas station counter, pause. Take a closer look, because you just might be holding $1.7 million in your hand. Coins don't just carry value. They carry history, stories, and sometimes, the key to a completely different life. Check your change.